Hello, everybody.
Hi children, hope you all are doing well. Okay, have you read the story His First Flight? Now, it is time to discuss its main points. See, we all learned that the story is written by Liam O'Flaherty, an Irish writer, and the story is about young seagull. Have you studied how to analyze a particular story? Yes, of course you have. You might have studied about it. A story is to be analyzed considering its settings, characters, plots, and language. See here in the story His First Flight, the central character is young seagull. Rest of the characters you all know, his siblings, that is two brothers, one sister, then parents. Then the crisis of the young seagull. What are the difficulties he had and how his parents guarded it and made young seagull to succeed in flying. All these points you might have studied. Now we have to write all these questions, answers in our English notebook. So before we start writing each question and answers in our English notebook, let's have the review of the story. Now you listen it, okay?
Liam O'Flaherty's His First Flight is a little story with a great message. It emphasizes the importance of building up confidence and self-reliance at an early age. The Seagull family consisted of 5 members: father, mother, 3 sons, and a daughter. All except the young seagull could fly. The parents trained them and they developed confidence and self-reliance. But the young seagull was afraid to fly. His parents shouted at him, scolded him, and even threatened him with starvation. But he preferred to stay at his dirty nest. Heat and hunger troubled him. His mother came close to him carrying a piece of fish in her beak. The young bird at last leaps forward to get the fish. He fell outwards and downwards in the space. The wind rushed against his breast feathers and the stomach and the wings. Soon the wings opened. They began to cut the air. He then landed on the sea. His feet began to sink. But when his belly touched the water, he wouldn't sink further. This made him confident. His parents and his brothers and sister joined him. They were extremely happy. The story is told in simple language. The dramatic situations in the story attract the readers. The writer has made the story so homely that we feel that it is the story of a human family. The message it conveys is splendid. The loving and caring parents, the affectionate brothers and sisters, and the innocent young seagull seem to be our dear ones. Why was the young seagull afraid to fly? The young seagull was afraid to fly because he thought that his wings wouldn't support him and he would fall into the sea and die. Number 2. What did the parents do to motivate the young bird when it's failed to muster up enough courage to fly? The parents flew around the young seagull, calling him loudly. They scolded him and even threatened to starve him. Question number 3. How did the parents support and encourage the young seagull's brothers and sisters? The parents flew with them, trying to perfect them in the art of flying. They taught them how to dive for fish. 4. Cite an instance which shows the pathetic condition of the young bird. The young seagull had nothing to eat. He had to bear the heat of the sun. He even gnawed at the dried pieces of the eggshell from which he and his brothers and sisters had hatched. It was like eating a part of himself. Number 5. How did the bird try to reach its parents without having to fly? The young seagull tried to reach his parents by trotting back and forth from one end of the ledge to the other, but he saw only the steep precipices on either side. He could not reach his parents because there was a deep, wide crack between him and his parents. 6. Why could the seagull not succeed in its attempt? The seagull couldn't succeed in its attempt because there was nothing to work on that would bring him to his parents. A deep, wide crack separated him from his parents, and there was no way for him to reach them except by flying to them. 7. Do you think that the young seagull's parents were cruel? The young seagull's parents were not cruel to him. They had great love for it. They wanted to motivate the bird to fly. Number 8. Can you justify the attitude of the parents? The parents wanted to teach him how to fly. For this, he must have confidence and a feeling of self reliance. The parents would not live forever. They wanted to make him self reliant and earn food for himself. Number 9. Your parents sometimes behave in the same manner. They may seem cruel and unrelenting. Does it mean that they do not love you? Our parents sometimes behave in this cruel and unrelenting manner. This is only to make us self reliant. It is not because they do not love us. They want to train us to become independent and self reliant. If they fail to act this way, we are likely to become helpless in life. The actions may seem to be cruel, but they are never cruel. What prompted the young seagull to fly finally? It was extreme hunger that made the young seagull fly at last. The mother bird had a piece of fish between her beaks, but she wanted him to come flying to it. Why was the young bird terrified? How did it overcome its fear? The young seagull dived at the fish that was in his mother's beak. When he dived, he fell outwards and downwards into the space. The wind was brushing against his breast and he was terrified. His wings opened suddenly and began to cut through the air. He was not falling now. Thus he overcame his fear. Number 12. How did the family support the young seagull? The mother flew past him. The father flew over him. His two brothers and sister flew around him. All members of the family supported him in their own way. 13. Why couldn't the young seagull stand on the green sea? The young seagull couldn't stand on the green sea because his legs would go down the water, but when his belly touched the water, it wouldn't sink. Number 14. Do you think that the bird's parents loved him? Why? The bird's parents loved him. They wanted to teach him how to be courageous and self confident. They wanted him to fly. The mother came with a piece of fish to attempt him into flight. When he flew at last, the whole family expressed their joy by flying with him. Question number 1. What is the theme of the story? The theme of the story is the need for building self-reliance in young people. Number 2. What do you think is the real crisis faced by the young bird? The real crisis faced by the young bird was a lack of confidence and his fear to go out of its nest. Question number 3. What is your impression of the reaction of the parents in the story? The parents love their young child and want him to be self-reliant. They use clever tricks to make the bird fly. The mother tempts him, bringing a piece of fish very near him and forces him to fly and get it. He dives for the fish. His wings open suddenly and he begins to fly. They succeed in their attempt and are extremely happy at it. Question number 4. Identify the words or expressions used in the story to express thoughts, attitudes, movements, sounds, emotions, appearance, descriptions of the birds or places, etc. The great expanse of the sea stretched down beneath, the rough dirt-caked straw nest, the ledge entered in a sheer fall of precipice, a deep wide crack, a vast green sea beneath, etc. are examples for places. Then he, the young seagull, had taken a little run off the ledge and had attempted to flap the wings. He failed to muster up courage. His father and mother had come around calling to him shrilly, scolding and threatening him. He then trotted back, etc. The examples of movements. Then, what is the message of the story? The message of the story is that if we should succeed in life, we have to become courageous and self-reliant from a young age.
Children, now you all got these questions and answers clear, right? Now try to read and understand all these items very carefully. Now you also have to write all these things in your English notebook. Okay, have all these things in your English notebook, right? So let's do the other activities in our next session. That's all for you. Thank you.